Hello everyone, I am Tacit and welcome to the Currently There Is No Campaign number 24. So of course next week is campaign 24. This is the downtime week, which means there's not too much going on. The main thing to note is the red summer event is still going on every single day. Actually, might as well do it right now. And this is a daily that you do miss out on completely if you don't keep up with every single day. So if you still want to get any of the rewards, like the summer armor, 1 copy of the sandstorm thing, 7 of the pet, well technically 6 of the pet, 700 total, and the power orb, which is what we're currently working on. Actually, we're currently working on the golden one, then we're working on the power orb. But yeah, if you still want to get any rewards from it, still a whole week to do so. So yeah, we'll be progressing through that. And the main thing that we'll probably be doing that will take a decent amount of time other than the standard dailies is pretty much the entirety of the world event, or journey event, I mean. Journey event is still buffed from last time. It is a permanent change, of course. So this is the second time that we've had a fixed journey event. It's still a bit worse than before Journey Troop was like the most broken thing in the game. However, the last journey event and this journey event is the easiest it's been since then. And it's a permanent change. So yeah, we'll get to see how it works out again. And it should be pretty easy. Not only do the battles scale way slower than they did before, but you also get more points for the battles that you end up doing. Also, hello Mulu, hello Jets, hello Cookie, hello Crisp, hello Stacy, hello Renos, welcome, welcome, welcome. Hope you guys been having a wonderful beginning of your week. And of course, always going forward to get that extra points. At this point, we don't really necessarily need it, but we'll save us a little bit of gems by the end. Oh yeah, the guild did end up finally winning every single Guild War day, even though we lost 2 battles for the first time ever on 2 different days. As a guild, we're still undefeated, surprisingly. I wonder if we went up in rank. I didn't actually bother checking that. Let me go grab the golden pet. There it is. We now have every unique reward from this event. So we could technically be done if we wanted to, though I do want to go for the power orb. It's a really cheap free power orb, pretty much. So hello, Lucian. Hello, Isabel. Hello, Chad. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, so what was I going to go do? Guild? Guild War. I want to see. Did we go up in rank? I think we were 22 last time. Your guild is currently not participating in Guild Wars event. Check out opt-in. Oh, I can't check right now. Okay, well, I guess we can't check. Oh, it's Blighted Lands for the next event, by the way. Not Strix. So it looks like they changed it. Let's see. Yeah, Blighted Lands. That's a bit of a weird one. Biggest issue with that is I don't have Blighted Lands upgraded right now. It's something I was working towards. Oh, we have max kingdom bonus, though, don't we? Ooh, look at that. Tier 5 kingdom bonus. You haven't played this game in a very long time. Last time you played, you were Diamond Dragon was meta. Oh, gosh, yeah. Diamond Dragon has gotten replaced so hard in the last 2 years. Because we got 2 more sets of dragons. And for whatever reason, they've been making every set since a Gem Dragon, like, so much stronger. Particularly, actually, technically both of them. But yeah, both the Cosmic Dragon and Floral Dragon, you know, the one that you get all the way at the end, similar to Diamantina. These 2 are so insane what you get. The Stellarix and the Chrysathornax of the Flower Dragon. Yeah, they are really, 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 really strong. Like, absurdly so compared to Gem Dragon. It's actually crazy how much in, like, 2 years Gem Dragon has become irrelevant. It's still good, though. Like, you can still use it. But it is way worse than the other 2. I'm not sure why they power creeped it so hard so quick. They do cost more Dragonite, though, compared to the initial one. Alright, we did all that. Oh, yeah, let me go finish the Castle in the Sky event before I forget. I was just checking the Guild War thing. Yeah, 3 battles left. Let me go take all those. Alright, let me go hand out some codes, too. Is my code section open? Yes, it is. We're finally getting into the June redeem codes. We're only going to be, I have, like, 3 left of the previous month. But, yeah, at some point in the stream, I'll get into the June redeem codes at June 23rd. Oh, so you know what threw me off? I was looking at a date the other day, and it said July 23rd. And I thought it was today for something. And, yeah, I mixed up June and July. I hate when I do that. They both start with J, so they're both exactly the same. I do that so often. Whenever I see a date or something. It says July, I think it's June. Unless it's specifically July 4th or something, I always think it's June instead. Oh no, the base Gem Dragons are still good for some Underspire events. Though the current Underspire event does use the Flower Dragon this time, though. Because the 6 kingdoms that end up getting them, some of them, they're still the best damage source they have. Especially if you're missing some of the better mythics from the location. And some of them just don't have a better mythic to end up using. Alright, dailies. All we have to do is a dungeon, and oh, all 3 of these. Nice. We actually got a good triple bottom here. We got a gem key, 4 reds, and 6 blue with an imperial. Not bad. One of the better daily lineups we've seen in a while. Alright, speaking of the Flower Dragon and Stellarex, here's Flower Dragon. If you haven't seen it since you've come back. Yeah, it does a lot of damage. It actually has the highest magic boost ratio in the entire game for overall damage. This have a 34 mana cost, but with 6 colors, it's pretty free to get 34 mana. Like, it's a really high mana cost, but with 6 colors, it's not that high. If you break it down per color, it's basically just a 6 mana cost troop. Even though it says 34. If you break it down across every single color as, or, you know, the average per color that it uses. So whenever your mass exploding, it gets a lot of value. Which, of course, is its ability. It's to explode all skulls. What else did I miss in chat? So, hello, Isabel. Hope everything's been going well. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Your guild wars are great. Nice. Strix was wrong the whole time. It was on the forums, but it was a rumor. Oh, okay. Well, it's Blighted Lands now. I wonder what trip's going to get it for Blighted Lands, though. Do we know that yet? I feel like they're going to make it Inferno King. Which is not awful, but not really good. It'd be basically the equivalence of if they did it to Shagra. Except probably slightly more useful than Shagra. I'm trying to think what else they would do it to. Inferno King seems like the most likely one, though. Baphomet? I'm trying to even remember which one it is. Isn't that the guy that like gains a bunch of stats when he casts? I actually completely forget which one that even is. Is it confirmed that it's Baphomet, or is it just a guess? Deal damage to 3 random enemies. If the enemy is burning, deal double. There's no way they're changing that to triple damage. Could you imagine? He actually would be usable if they change that to triple. Baphomet is confirmed. Is it confirmed what the change is yet? Because that going to triple is kind of absurd. Deal 52 damage to 3 random enemies. If the enemy is burning, deal triple damage while also having triple damage skull. Oh, the spell just casts 4 times. It's still insanely good, too. It's almost the equivalence of it being triple. If he gets a whole extra hit. Well, that's a pretty big buff to him. That's a pretty substantial buff. The only big issue is with Blighted Lands itself, you don't have that many good burn options. Like, there are ways to burn with Blighted Lands. They are definitely not your go-to if you had, like, literally everything in the game as your option. We have the Burning Sentinel, though. Can you imagine? Oh, yeah, that reminds me, too. That means we're also restricted to a Blighted Lands weapon. So you don't even have access to all the burning weapons, either. Oh, but that does mean you have access to some of the burning weapons that, isn't there a burn 4 times weapon here? Yeah, this one. Fiendfire. Deal a bunch of damage to all enemies, boosted by Daemon allies, curse and burn all enemies. Ooh, Fiendfire with him is really good. Fiendfire plus Baphomet plus 2 mana accumulators. Really, really solid. And he gets this pretty much for free. It's just 250 wins on the Blighted Lands hero class. Blighted Lands hero class is pretty bad, but the weapon from it is really good. Among one of the better few that you actually get from a hero. But yeah, it's 4 times curse and 4 times stun. You could even use that as an early game stun option. Or even an early game burn option if you wanted. But for this case, we'd be using as our burn option to make Baphomet basically just one-shot the entire enemy team. Plus you have that double physical synergy, so you'd be able to get a lot of damage that way too. But yeah, that's going to be a pretty easy guild war then. Because even if they have immune, you know, you're just going to curse them anyways. So it's not, you can't even like immune counter it. Well, I guess you could if you bless. You'd have to build like a bless immune team rather than an impervious immune team. Is Bane of Mercy, Iron Gut, and Wandish Star still good for Explorer? Iron Gut and Wand of Stars are. Generally these days, damage has gotten so high on troops like this that you just cast spam it. Even something like a double Tesla quick kill can normally win pretty quickly. But yes, doing a mass mana accumulation option in the Iron Gut is perfectly fine. As long as you're doing it in a location that doesn't have immune to devour. Or have some kind of way to counter the ones that do. It just damage has gotten so quickly that for Explore 12, you actually don't bother one-shotting at a time. It is still an option, but it's slower than some other things. Because Flower Dragon can 1 to 2-shot depending on your team. Same as Stellarix. Because they have also since then added a 50% Fairy Fire troop. And while it's not always used, there's a 4x Fairy Fire option off of extra turn now. That's also a dragon, so it has a lot of synergies whenever you bring out dragons. It wants me to go do one dungeon. I guess I'll do that real quick since I don't normally do any dungeons. Let's quickly kill out City of Thieves. Speaking of the other dragon, I think I'm using Stellarix here. This is Stellarix with the other good mana accumulator. The two that they've added pretty recently that are really good are Takshaka and Pharaoh. Takshaka was the original one, and Pharaoh came in about a year and a half ago. But they're basically the replacement for Leprechaun for a lot of team. You run 2 of them and they just give you a ton of mana. In this case, both of them do 2 explodes per turn for 4 total. Which is basically a Leprechaun cast every turn. Obviously, it's not as much as a normal Leprechaun would do in turn 1. But you get it every single turn instead of just turn 1. So it has a slightly worse turn 1, but it has a overall better entire battle. As long as they don't get stunned or die, it's every turn that they do that. And there we go. Are the Immortal troops good? They're really accessible. Basically, within 1 or 2 PvP seasons, even if you don't buy the pass, you can obtain every Immortal in the game. Except for the one that doesn't want to drop for me for some reason. Which I've been having a struggle with. This is from last season, I still haven't gotten it. But generally speaking, even if you don't spend any money towards the PvP event, as long as you go and partake in it, you will end up getting enough burning marks and everything to get every single Immortal in the game within 2 free PvP events. And there's still plenty of time to finish out the current PvP event. And yeah, they're decent. You get all of them pretty early in the game too. Like within your first few months of playing, you could end up getting every single Immortal pretty much. And they're decent. They're a lot stronger than wherever the PvP location is that they're associated with. But there are a few of them that are just good outright, especially once they get traded. Like Immortal Fernax is good regardless, even outside of the event, or even outside the areas. Immortal Ossifer is probably one of the more noteworthy ones out of any of them. It converts all gems to a color, of a color to Doomskull, basically like a, what's his name? Keeper of Souls, that one troop that came out at launch. That one brown-purple Keeper of Souls for 15 mana. This is the same thing for double, but it creates Doomskulls, which do mana accumulate because they explode around. So even though he has a higher mana cost, he does use 1 additional color, and gets the mana accumulate from his skulls. So it's basically just a stronger Keeper of Souls in a lot of situations. He also gets to deal a bunch of true damage to all enemies, which you can also get rid of Barrier. And he also has Curse Stun, which is really good. As well as all these have basically immune to almost everything once you get their second trait. But yeah, they're decent. Some of them are pretty hit or miss. Like something like this one is like completely trash because its lower end damage is just so low. But most of them are pretty average. Like this Immortal Dragon. It's definitely not the best dragon in the game, but it gets the job done. There's a bunch of true damage to all enemies. There's not too many dragons that do true damage. But for the most part, they're kind of basically like early game mythics in a sense. With a few exceptions of some of them being actually good. But they're kind of comparable to early game mythics that you can get all of them within basically like a 3-month time span. Even if you don't spend a single cent towards them. I already did this. Let me go finish out City of Thieves, which is what I was currently doing. Oh wait, I thought I did. Wait. Oh, it said, wait, what does it want me to do? Oh, it's dungeon daily. I read that wrong. I hate when I do that. Never mind, let me go do dungeon. We're gonna do dungeon anyways. I do that all the time. Where I think it says underworld when it says dungeon. Also, I just realized this is supposed to be a journey grind. I still haven't started the journey event. Let's do that after we finish up this. Do we have a new update today? Do we? Wait, are some people on console getting a new update today? It should be a pretty small one if we are. It shouldn't be anything major. I don't even think they beta tested, so I don't know, maybe there was something they had to hotfix? It could be a hotfix related thing. Maybe there was some kind of bug this morning that the forum was exploding about that they fixed. Yeah, I would say Blighted Lands is pretty easy next next Guild War, as long as you have Baphomet. If you don't have Baphomet, that could be a problem. We'll know from the calendar on next Sunday if we're going to have a way to get Baphomet before then. As long as we have a Blighted Lands event before then, it should be pretty easy. The problem is if you don't have him, there might not be a way to target him up to that point. Luckily, they did that for last Guild War. We just don't know for sure if they're doing that for next Guild War or for every Guild War. But we need a Blighted Lands event week so that we can get Baphomet easily. But as long as you have Baphomet, it's pretty free. Because you can get to 250 wins on the hero class at any point. Baphomet, hopefully you can event key 4 in the next few weeks. And then the rest of the team is basically his mana accumulator. Or, you know, whatever you have laying around to mana accumulate for it. But no, we'll find out by next Sunday. Or technically Monday, since I'm not sure if I'm streaming next Sunday. But yeah, that's normally when they post the monthly calendar thingy. Alright, there we go. Dungeon done, which also means dailies done there. Also, don't forget, you do have this little thingy. I believe it's the same reward as last week for the final reward, just the final copy you need to max out the pet. But the no 2,000 something shiny keys this time, unfortunately. That one bug that they had to hotfix. But of course, you get all the other loot along the way. You'll likely get it done automatically just from dailies. Speaking of which, dailies completed there. Campaign not until next week. Pet rescue, I don't think I need it. I'll still double check. Don't need it. Journey event, we'll be getting to any second now. And Red Summer event, we already did. And then the only other thing then is Underspire, which I'm not sure if we're going to do the battles for today. Well, I guess we might. But we'll buy my torches now just so we can get through it. This one was a average week, right? What do we have for the team? I don't know. Do I go all the way? I might just do a half. I'm not sure yet if I go all the way or not. Maybe I will just because we have like no events going on this week. But Underspire team's kind of strong. Not only do we have Flower Dragon, we have an Empower to try to get it going. And then we have Wild King for a bunch of damage pressure. Yeah, I think I'm going all the way, actually. It shouldn't be that bad. There's some sketchy things that can happen on some of the battles, but it shouldn't happen that often. But yeah, we're going all the way. We're going to do a full Underworld completion this week. Since there's like no other event pretty much going on. Alright, Journey event. Let's go do it already. So, of course, always just take the higher mile one. And we covered the teams in the Monday video. But basically, we're either building Wanda Star Sonata into Double Beatrix, or into the two Wilds if you have them, Wild Queen and Wild King. Both of which are an event key drop table, though I wouldn't spend too much to try to get them if you don't already have them. They're decent, but they're not worth going like thousands of keys out of your way for. They are good, though. With Wild King in particular being one of the best school spammers in the entire game. But there's other alternatives like Lord of Slaughter that you can normally get away with. Is Vault event next week? No. We just had one 2 weeks ago. Oh, no, yes, next week. Sorry, yeah. Next week's weekend is Vault event weekend, yes. My bad. I thought you said this week for some reason. But yes, next weekend is new Mythic and Vault event weekend. So, yeah, it's a great time to catch up on resources. Vault events are just as broken as they've always been. It's still crazy how good Vault events are. Like, you can almost get more loot during a Vault event than, like, all time outside of Vault events. Not counting some of the useful dailies that you get from stuff. But not counting some of the dailies and weeklies. If you just count the resources that aren't daily or weekly related, you get almost like 2 times more loot from just doing a Vault event weekend than you do from everything else combined over the like the 30-day period. It's kind of it's kind of insane. Speaking of which, it is so much easier doing this with the higher point values. I'm not even sure why I bothered going for tier 4. I guess to help out the guild a little bit more. I didn't bother doing the math, but I'm pretty sure tier 3 everyone in your guild is enough to complete the journey event now with the changes they made last journey event. It is so much easier now. I'm still buying tier 4 out of habit though. It also saves 1 blue orb. It also allows you to run multiple of the journey troop if you wanted to. Though if you do that, it doesn't save 1 blue orb. But that's the only way that you could run 2 or 3 of it if you do. You'd have to spend 500 gems instead of 250. You're still buying tier 6? Yeah, tier 6 can be helpful. You get a free extra orb out of it too. The only thing I'm not a fan of tier 6 is it's pretty expensive. I think it's like 1,350 gems or so for most events. It's a lot of gems given that you can normally do most events in like a few hundred. Like it's almost an extra 1,000 gems every week. Which is not cheap. Like you do get rewards for it. I just don't feel like the rewards are worth the 1,000 gems a lot of times. I know, someone does have to make up for the slackers, that is true. I sometimes buy an extra tier to do that, but I haven't ever bought in tier 6 to do that before. At least not recently. But if we ever truly fell behind, I would start doing it. But we really haven't had a pattern of that happening anytime recently. Well, in the perfect case scenario, if everyone was evenly contributing, it would allow everyone to do a low amount. The problem is not everyone evenly contributes a lot of times. Because if every single person in the guild did tier 4 journey, not a single person would have to do more than tier 4 journey. Well, it's not that I'm cheaping out. I just do the number that is required to do the minimum for the guild. And if every single person did that, then everyone would only have to do the minimum for the guild. Everyone would need to get 9,164 miles to complete the event. That's not too bad. On Monday alone, we're already going to have like 3,000 miles. If not more. You do reach a point where you start getting diminished miles, though. But we're far from it. Which is one of the other reasons why this event in particular is actually even better to have even distribution. Because at the very late battles, you do start losing points. Like, you start losing some miles. But at the earlier end, as long as you have a half-decent team, you're pretty much never losing miles. As long as you never lose a troop and don't spend too long winning a battle, you'll get max miles every time. Whereas you'll eventually get deep enough where you're pretty much just guaranteed to lose some amount of miles, even in the new format. Because it eventually scales high enough that if you don't have insta-kill troops, which this kingdom does not have, you just don't have enough damage. I said, hello, Imperial! Welcome, welcome. So I'm loving this gold team. I almost forgot how fun Wild King is. I haven't ran him in a long while. But gosh, does he get so much value. And what's insane about him too is he does it to every ally. It's not just your first slot. So if our first slot dies, our second slot is just as strong. It basically turns any troop in the game, even if they have nothing score related, into a really strong skull troop. Do I really not have any extra turn skull there? All of that, and I have no extra turn skull. There was a 7.5 megabyte update today. Is it posted anywhere? Nothing there. It had to have been like a small bug fix or something. Oh no, is the patch notes mentioned anywhere? It must have just been a quick hotfix. Here it is, 8.6 patch notes. 20 minutes ago. They are coming. The update went out on Steam earlier than expected. That's funny. Well, we got a patch notes. It's patch notes soon, TM. Oh, that's funny. That's really funny. But yeah, we don't know what changed yet. Well, we'll know sometime soon, hopefully. Before the end of the stream. Oh, so what version would that put us in? Let me go restart real quick. What version does that put us in? Steam, do an update. There we go. I got the update. We're in. I have a feeling whatever it is so small, we're probably not going to need to cover a video on it. Alright, let's see. Yep, we are indeed in version 8.6. Oh, time to change the title. Version 8.6. Is there enough room in this title? Version 8.6 update. Final summer week journey. Okay, there we go. Yeah, version 8.6. I'll read the patch notes whenever we get a patch notes. Alright, let me go ahead and add another code. If you guys haven't already, definitely feel free to leave a like on the stream. Helps a lot and is greatly appreciated. But yeah, as soon as the patch notes get up, we'll go over them. Whatever it is, it should be a pretty small patch. Probably just some bug fixes and a few other things. But the patch notes aren't even up on the forum yet, so I'll keep checking them here and there. Let me go refresh this page. Community forum, 8.6. Yeah, still no patch notes yet. Let me go double check. Is it in the patch notes section? No. Still only up to 8.5. The 8.6 aren't out yet. Like I said 8.6 patch notes aren't anywhere at the moment. But hopefully it'll have them out up before the end of the stream. Anyways, I'm gonna go grab all this. What other dailies have we not done? Let me go finish out Journey. Go back to what we're doing. Let's go finish out Journey, and by then, hopefully the patch notes are up. The next campaign mythic is shiny eligible? Is it really? That's actually kind of broken. That'd be the first mythic shiny in the game then. Though, if they're going to make anything shiny that are mythics, I guess those are the ones to go for. Or not to go for, but in the sense of, they're already so bad, the campaign mythics they've been doing lately. So them being shiny isn't going to break anything. Because they've already been on such a bad streak, and assuming that they're going to keep doing that, them being shinied honestly doesn't even bring them up to a normal shiny. I mean, to a normal mythic. Which is kind of sad. It rolled out before Jeddah knew about the patch. Devs trolling the support. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised we got a patch too. It has to be a really mini one. They normally don't do a patch like this in June. Like, next patch I was expecting to be August. And it probably will be as far as, like, really big patch. Like, actually substantial patch. But next substantial patch should be mid to late August. But I thought that was just going to be what next patch is. But apparently we got another mini one before then. No clue what's in it because the patch notes aren't up. But whatever it is, we're in it right now. We're in 8.6 right now. Has anyone seen any changes? I'm almost guaranteed just bug fixes and some really small, like, quality of life stuff or something. But oh no, we're in it right now, so I have no clue what changed. Like at this exact moment in time, we're in 8.6 already. But we'll get the patch notes soon. Whatever it is, it's likely small. As the next big patch should be near the end of summer. Poor Jetto. Yeah, I definitely wasn't expecting an update today either. Not only is it a Monday, but it's also not really a time that they would normally do an update. Which makes me think they just need to hotfix something really quickly. They just needed a full update for it. Like there might have been some kind of really dire issue for Guild Wars, something under the hood that they had to fix or something. Oh yeah, a lot of updates have been like that recently, which I'm not been a fan of. I wish there was more content you could immediately grind when patches come out. Because a lot of patch days are like, yay, patch notes, but now we gotta wait like until next Monday reset to do anything with it. Those like the most disappointing patches. Especially when it's like a big patch, but it's like, oh, all the features in this patch don't come in until Monday reset. Honestly, the last time I can even recall a patch that you immediately got to do it, I almost want to say 2019. There were a couple. There was one in 2021 when orbs got updated, which if you had a reserve of vault keys, you could immediately do. But otherwise, you had to wait till the vault event weekend to, you know, go get more vault keys. So there was that. But the last one I really remembered that it just immediately came out and you could just infinitely grind it was medals. When the medals end up coming out through Explore and everything, you could just infinitely grind those the second they came out. Like there was no delay or something like actually worth grinding that was very beneficial. But yeah, they haven't really done too many patches like that in recent times. Is there anything in this update? Likely no. This should be a pretty small update, whatever it is. Likely just some bug fixes, some hot fixes, stuff like that. I highly doubt any big feature came in. Is the biggest feature they're probably doing all year. Should be a next update in like one of the next two. Assuming they're still planning on doing that this year. Which is that whole like upgrading system to counter free extra turn spam and stuff like that. It might also make Skull meta actually useful again, potentially. We just don't know everything that the Citadel system or whatever it was called is going to do. They give it a name. I always keep forgetting what it's called. I keep calling it everything except what it's actually called. Whatever that system that they were planning to kind of counter out extra turn spamming and a few other things. It'll likely slightly kill extra turn spam and slightly make Skull's teams viable again. Not that they're not viable. Like, what we're using right now is a pretty solid Skull team. Other than the fact that we're basically forced to have to use Sonata on the team. But, you know, Skulls are definitely way worse than cast spamming these days, generally speaking, when you're allowed to use anything in the game. And they've been that way for quite a while. Probably the longest time Skulls have ever been worse than casting. Like, substantially worse. Not that they're bad, it's just they're not as good. Like, obviously you can still win with Skull spam. Yeah, the Bastion system, that's what it's called. But whatever they're doing for the Bastion system is likely in 1 or 2 patches from now. It should be the biggest patch of the entire year. Yeah, Skulls are still a lot of fun, though. I will give it that. Skulls have always been fun in Gems of War, even when they've been weaker, like right now. But Skull spam teams are still a lot of fun. Because they're a lot more unpredictable in what they're going to do. But when they really pop off, it's nice. Jetto says patch notes coming tomorrow? No! No patch notes today. Oh, maybe I'll do a separate video tomorrow just reading over the patch notes then if they're worth reading. Where did she mention, oh, here it is. 8.6 update is to campaigns. Myself or G-Man will be working furiously to update the campaign article. So there is some information in the meantime, as patch notes likely will not be available until tomorrow. Please, if you can, hold off any questions that would be answered by playing the updated campaign. Okay, so this is affecting the new campaign system. Okay, that would make sense why they're doing it now then. Okay, because next campaign starts on next week's Monday. So that would explain why they're doing it now when there's no campaign going on. Okay, that makes sense why there was a patch this week then. Why didn't she know about it then? Oh, I guess she was expecting it to be tomorrow, not today. I think that's the issue. She was expecting the update to be on a Tuesday and not a Monday. Because she should have known that it was this week. She just likely thought it was tomorrow rather than today. Which makes sense. Normally patches are tomorrow and not today. But, yeah, I think that was the confusion then. Because an update like that was guaranteed going to be this week, if you knew that internally. But the issue was likely that it rolled out today rather than tomorrow, so that makes sense. If you could buff one troop and nerf one troop, who would you buff and who would you nerf? I do feel like both Flower Dragon and Stellaric should be nerfed, which is basically the same troop. They've just power creeped casting so much. As far as buffing, there are so many things that need a buff. Like, that list is like a third of the troops in the game. I would also nerf Wanda Stars. Wanda Stars, Stellarics, and Flower Dragon of Kasathonax. Like the main three that need to be toned down a little. But as far as buffing, there's like a whole laundry list of things that need a buff. I don't know, I always felt like Stellarics and Flower Dragon, while really fun and very strong and very rewarding for the grind that you have to do, are just a little bit too meta. Like, pretty much anytime you can use them, you should be using them if you own them. Like, there's almost no exception to that. Like, it leaves a lot of things off the table for building. Like, I deliberately try never using them in weekly teams. Otherwise, half the teams in every weekly video would just be use Flower Dragon and or Stellarics. So I, like, deliberately don't use them. Yeah, the new dragons kind of... The problem is they power crept too hard too quick. Is the biggest issue with both of them. Like, they're allowed to be strong. They're just slightly above everything else. Just a little bit too much. It reminds me when Justice Queen Mab was, like, the entire meta in the game. Does anyone remember that? Like, I think it was, like, the second year of the game. Or technically the first year, almost. Like, the later part of the first year. When every single team was just Justice Queen Mab with Valkyrie. Because for one, Valkyrie was basically the only way to really realistically earn souls in the game at the time. So you always had to build into a blue team. And the strongest blue team was using a Justice plus Queen Mab build. It kind of reminds me of that. Like how strong Justice was with that kind of build back in the day. It's very similar to that, how strong Stellarics and Flower Dragon are. Where basically if you can use it, you'll be using it every battle. That's applicable. But it has that same kind of issue. Though they fixed that without ever nerfing them, though. Actually, that's not true. They did nerf Queen Mab. But they nerfed the entire mechanic. The way they nerfed Queen Mab is her ability used to work when there was 10 or more blue. But then they end up changing it to 13 or more for every single mechanic like that. So you know any troop that has like a 13 or more mechanic? There used to be a 10 or more mechanic. But Queen Mab basically single-handedly made it so they had to nerf it to 13. So actually they did nerf Queen Mab. They just never nerfed Justice. But nerfing Queen Mab was enough to indirectly nerf Justice. They also eventually added mana burn immunity. Just because Queen Mab was so strong at the time. So they basically double nerfed Queen Mab. But they never actually touched Justice. They never nerfed him at all. And he just naturally became irrelevant. But they double nerfed Queen Mab, both making her mana burn nearly useless, and making her boost ratio and every similar troop with that boost ratio slightly worse. Blighted Lance has no cleanse weapon or troop. Oh, that's going to be annoying. But the main core team is pretty damage heavy. You just throw down your curse burn weapon. Then you go use Baphomet or whatever his name was. And then you basically just 1-2 shot the entire enemy team. Like, your damage is going to be high. There's also ways to resummon if you need. Amnesia would probably be pretty strong during that event. She gets to resummon Inferno King, and you just make an Inferno King army, as long as she doesn't get targeted. The only problem with that is she doesn't have Stealthy. I don't think any summoner has Stealthy in that location. It's something that honestly should be a mechanic more often. Particularly for like a Legend or a Mythic. Like, give a Mythic Stealthy, Impervious, ability to summon off of trait, and the ability to summon off of ability. Would make it really, really, really strong. The closest thing we have to that is just summon off of trait, which is Arachne Weaver. But if they basically made Arachne Weaver a version of that also had summon on ability, it'd be very solid. But it's one of the reasons why Arachne Weaver is so good, is it's the exact setup I just mentioned. It has Stealthy, Impervious, and Resummon. Any troop that ever gets that is going to be really, really, really good. As it's basically your best case scenario for keeping your summoner alive. Obviously, it's not guaranteed. But it's the safest way to keep a troop alive if they had that combination. But now that I think about it, is there even another alternative other than Arachne Weaver that has that combination? I don't think there is. Something that has Stealthy, Impervious, plus the ability to summon. Off of either trait and or ability. I think Arachne Weaver is the only one. I can't think of another off the top of my head. Are we going to make another Mythic tier list video? Oh no, we're starting to lose points. Also, who said how many points we need to get this week? Because we're on day 1 and we're almost already at like 7,000. Did someone earlier said that every single person in the guild only needs to do like 9,000? Where was that? Someone said earlier what the math was on it. Because whatever it is, we're like already there. It's insane how much easier they made Invasion Event. Yeah, there it is, 9,164. I'm going to have oh, no, don't do that. I'm trying to not to ban someone. There we go. But we're already going to have like 3/4 of that on day 1. Like, the event just started and we're pretty much already done with minimum. Obviously, we'll keep using them though until the guild's done. Oh yeah, it's raining guild chat every week too. I did see that earlier when I was doing the video. I didn't save it in my memory of what the word said. I did see it there. I just don't remember it. But yeah, it's slightly over 9,000. It's over 9,000! Alright, final battle. We got a little under 7,000. Oh, my first tree. Oh, no! They still... That's funny. So, there's a really weird bug slash feature with insta-kill on Archer. The way it applies insta-kill makes it so if the enemy has any amount of reflect, you actually take infinite damage. So, we just took infinite damage to our HP value. Because he had 25% reflect and we hit insta-kill on him. I'm surprised they still haven't changed that. It only applies to Archer because it's the only one that does it that way. But because it's hero and heroes are coded a lot weirder, it doesn't work for Assassin because Assassin actually applies proper insta-kill to last enemy. But if Archer ever one-shots something with Skull Reflect, it will instantly die. Which, if you're wondering how our hero got deleted, that is how. It hit insta-kill on something with Skull Reflect and just took infinite damage. Which is really funny that they haven't fixed that. It only applies to Archer. Archer is the only troop in the game that's like that. But it takes infinite damage whenever you get Skull Reflected. Really funny bug slash feature. Alright, let me go and get over our magic and go do PvP real quick. Oh yeah, that reminds me. Was the Goldmark Mythic even any good this season? It's really weird. I thought they were supposed to come into Soulforge. I haven't seen a single one ever return yet. They definitely will be because they never permanently keep stuff that have stats off the table. But they have such a long delay. It feels like a 6 months delay before they go into drop table or something. I guess that makes sense because of how many gold marks they cost. Because they cost almost like half a kingdom in deed books. Alright, that reminds me. Let me go roll my deed books. I have 3 of them today. I was waiting until Monday to do it, and it's Monday right now. We'll hand out a redeem code for every purple we get. Let me just finish out this buff real quick, though. Would I ever do a common tier list? I think we did at one point. At 1,000 troops, we ranked everything in the game. I haven't done it since then because it took forever and a half across like 6 different videos. Because I did every rarity separately. The problem with doing that again is by the time we do it again, there would be almost 2,000 in the game. But I actually did do that once at exactly 1,000 troops in the game. I haven't done it since because it took forever and a half. I think it took over 12 hours across 6 videos. But we basically ranked every single troop in the entire game. But yeah, the only time we did that was at 1,000. Yeah, how many troops are there now? There's currently 1,627 troops in the game. Wow, we're actually getting pretty close to 2,000. I say close, we're still like 2 years off probably. But, you know, we're getting there. Like a year and a half, 2 years from getting there. Depends on how many more kingdoms and stuff they add. So probably closer to 2 years if they're not really adding that many. Alright, let me go get our other magic bonus. I'll do it off of blue. I should be able to just copy paste my team from middle if we don't already have one there. Let me just grab the team. What do we have for blue? Do I have a team set up? Oh, wrong one. Do I have a team set up? I do not. No, I do. Right, there we go. You feel like there's only 3 good commons in the game and only 1 usable one for late game? There's a handful. Thrall's the first one that comes to mind. Boxstrider. Leshy, if you need your team to be entangled, has some really interesting niche cases. Him having immune to entangle is actually a bad thing because you actually want him to get entangled. But at least he can make the rest of your team get entangled. There's some really niche situations where that's relevant, like when the enemy has attack boost ratio based on your team. While also still having skull value for themselves. I'm trying to think what else is under common is kind of good. Technically, isn't there like a whole set of guardian troops or something under common? Like those original guild troops or something? Because those aren't that bad. Because even though they're upgraded unlike a common, they're still technically in common rarity. With that being said, all 6 of the boost troops from the old Guild War system that I believe are now in the seal key drop table are decent. Because they give 5 to all stats to whatever you do. Or, you know, whatever color you want. And there are some niche situations where you still bring them out. They've kind of fallen off because 5 to all stats have gotten weaker over time as stats get higher and higher. But there are some situations where you still bring it out for the 5 magic at start of battle. Especially if you're doing a game mode where you're trying to one-shot and you just need slightly more damage. The most noteworthy one on that is Volt Keys. If you're running Volt Keys but don't have a way to one-shot, sometimes they can be enough to make it so your team will be able to one-shot them. Especially in combination with a 4x Fear Fire option. Alright, there we go. And now we need to go do Giant or Wildfolk. Oh, that's funny. You know what? I'm going to do Wildfolk just because I already have a copy-paste for it. Oh, that's really funny. Oh, wait. I can't do this because this is Pan's Veil, not Wildfolk. Oh, I can always do the Wild King. Let me just grab my Journey team then. I just change out the mana accumulator. Oh, that's really funny. But yeah, it's already a Wildfolk event week. I might as well already have a team for it. I'll just run a Beatrix so we have cleanse. Alright, there we go. We got the team. But yeah, it's literally just the team are running with Journey, but instead the Journey troop are running Beatrix for cleanse. Just because we need that to counter out Elementalist. Well, he's not using Elementalist right now, but in theory we would need it to counter out Elementalist. Oh, don't have Agile. I just realized this team is really bad for Potion Gem, though, is the only problem. This team does not have any Potion Gem synergy. Sometimes you wonder, since there are so many bad troops in the game, what is the worst one? There are some troops that actively are worse than literally having nothing on your team. Like, there's that one guy that death marks himself. That one ultra rare troop. He doesn't even death mark what he hits, he just death marks himself. I feel like there was like a legend or mythic that was like really bad that nearly kills itself out as well. But yeah, there are some troops that are literally negative value on your team. If it was to ever be on your team. There's also just some mythics that have a really bad ability that just suck up so much mana while doing nothing in return. I don't know, Peasant's pretty good. There actually are some really good use cases for Peasant. Peasant is actually probably within the top 10 strongest commons in the game. The lower end of top 10, but isn't top 10. It has a mana accumulation option that doesn't exist on any other troop in the game. There's some really unique board control that only he can do. The only reason he's not amazing is he has no follow-up. If you added that ability to a mythic and just gave it follow-up, it'd be probably top 20 mythic. As long as the follow-up is actually good. The only thing holding him back is no follow-up at all. Oh, so that's the nice thing about Wild King. It makes every single troop in our team basically the front skull spammer. No, Peasant's actually really, really good. There's a lot of double destroy and triple destroys that you wouldn't otherwise be able to do to land an extra turn. His effective amount of mana accumulation relative to his mana cost is almost triple. And while there are mana accumulators that do way, way, way more than that, like Thrall, Bogstrider, Undercommon Rarity, he still has some board control that is unique only to him and no other troop in the game. Like, you're never going to use him on your team, but if you had to use him, he's not bad. Like, you're never actively putting him on your team. But if you had to use him on your team, he would work. Like, you gotta show him in a central battle. I can go fight, like, the meta of metas in the game and still win with a Peasant on the team. Oh, I should have stole from the other one. Oh, there we go. No, he gets to destroy 3 gems, not 2. But you can use to destroy 2, depending on the board control that you need. Oh, so hello, Lester. Welcome, welcome. Let me go do one more battle, and then we'll go do Peasant in middle real quick. I'll replace out one Pharaoh. Actually, I'll replace out the Pharaoh for Leprechaun Peasant. Because one Pharaoh's not really going to do much. Okay, I'll go run in the middle and just run Leprechaun Peasant instead of double Pharaoh. And oddly enough, we would have a stronger turn 1 and potentially turn 2 than Pharaoh. Well, probably just turn 1. But the team would legitimately have a stronger turn 1 than running double Pharaoh. That would fall off after turn 1. But as long as we get a really good turn 1, it wouldn't matter. But let's go do it real quick just to show it. But we'll run Central Spire, and instead of running the meta, we'll run Leprechaun into Peasant. Like a team from like 8 years ago with it. Leprechaun. Instead of double tuck shot guy, I mean. Peasant. Oh, there we go. That's our team. Wand of Stars. Actually, let me go Flower if we're going to do it this way, though. Flower. Alright, there we go. I don't think I need to change anything else. Even got the double blue banner already ready for the Peasant to go off. Alright, so first things first, we need to actually get mana. Alright, mana achieved. So the main thing you use Peasant for is for board control that you wouldn't otherwise be able to do. For example, we could take an extra turn here that we would have no way of taking with any other means. We can also use it to pop various gems, like this Doom Skull, like over here to get a lot of value. We could also do it right here in order to get the X shape, which would also do the Doom Skull. And it would just lead to a gigantic chain reaction that would go over the place. But you tend to use it for stuff like this. Like we got a 4 times extra turn. We got a 3 over there set up into another extra turn. We just ended up getting 2 4 times and 2 3 times from one Peasant cast. So one single Peasant for 3 mana did 2 4 times with extra turn and 2 3 times in a single thing. So that's a lot of mana. Obviously we already had full mana because everything else on the team already got it for us. But if we didn't, that's 2 4 times and 2 3 times with one single Peasant cast while gaining extra turn. But yeah, he does some pretty unique stuff. He's not bad. It's just he's not better than running like actual mana accumulators. Come on, I want mana so we can do Peasant one more time. Let's see. Can Peasant do anything relevant here? No. There isn't anything Peasant can do on this board that we wouldn't otherwise already be able to do. You can do funny things like this. Like, let's say there wasn't a skull there and I had no way of killing right now. I could just do a chain reaction of the skulls and do 11 damage right now, just for the fun of it. Obviously, we already had a win condition on our team, so we didn't need that. But if we didn't have win condition, that would have been our win condition. Especially now that there's so many more power gems, there's a lot more that he can actually target that would actually do something that you might not otherwise be able to do with what's currently on your team. Let me just get to full mana real quick, so we can get a nice clean Peasant somewhere. Alright, we got our Peasant ready. Is there anything he can do that we wouldn't otherwise already be able to do? We could pop this to try to get something. It doesn't really do much. We can cascade this yellow. We can cascade this yellow, which would also cascade into that blue. Too bad there isn't another blue there. Otherwise, we could use that to stack a lot of blue. Can we offset it enough? If we do it here... No, that brings the other blue too low. Oh, but we could try for a blue off of Sky. Oh, no, but then the other one's in a weird position. Never mind. Yeah, I think what we do here is try for the other blue off of Sky. I get this and try for double blue. So we could do something like this. Try for the thing. Didn't get it, but we still got a double pair there. I don't know, it's very niche. Like right here, we could take what we wouldn't otherwise be able to do. We could take both the red and the brown simultaneously here. If we do a Peasant here. So not only do we get this 3 mana, but we'd get a brown. We'd also get a red. And we'd also get all the cascaded value of potentially getting the blue extra turn from top as well. You could pop this gem to try to get value as well. Which I don't think does much currently. This looks like the most enticing one at the moment. And we got a blue from Sky. We didn't get enough for an extra turn there though. Yeah, he just does weird stuff like that. We'd also use them to remove the barrier here if we really wanted to. Let's go win the battle. But he's not bad. Obviously, he's not the best thing in the world, but he's not a bad troop. He's just not good enough to justify using a lot of times, though. We finished out all the thingies, right? I did Wildfolk, I did the other thing. There's no gold marks we need to go get. Oh, yeah, let me go do the 3 deed books. I was mentioning that earlier and still haven't done it, have I? I was mentioning it, then went on like a billion tangents, but let me go do the, So hello, John! Welcome, welcome. Hope all's been well. Let's go do the 3 things. If we get a purple, we'll handle the code for each purple. No purple? No purple? Okay, today's yellow day, apparently. Yep. Oh, gosh. I'll still hand out a code, though, since we're done with PvP now. But, wow, that is unlucky. We just got triple yellow. If only that was triple purple. Could you imagine? There you guys go. Redeem code. Alright, there's nothing else we gotta do for PvP. Daily's done. Daily's done. Season goal done. Anything else? Immortals, don't have anything to open, don't have anything to open. Alright, we're out of PvP. Alright, next order of business. I think the only thing left is Underspire then. I mean, Underworld. No, Underspire, I was right the first time. Yeah, Underspire's the only thing left. Alright, let's go do it. Alright, what's our team right now? Do I have copy paste in it already? No, let me go grab it then. Let's go get our Wildfolk team. Let's see. You have a 6-month-old? Nice. Hope it's been going well. Very nice. Where is my thingy here? There it is. Oh yeah, we get to run Flower Dragon. That's fun. I don't think I've actually ever ran Yellow Flower Dragon yet. It's one of the few I haven't really utilized yet. Was it because Pan's Veil doesn't really synergize with it as much? Pan's Veil does have a lot of ways to create yellow and green. The problem with Pan's Veil is they kind of want Wildfolk synergy, and this is not a Wildfolk, it's Elemental Dragon. Is there anything that's kind of awkward with it? Luckily, Wild King does create yellow, which you actually get to use the lifesteal from. It's not a lot, but you do get quite a bit given that he's creating like 1 billion yellow. So that's pretty much the game plan with this team. Just kind of spam out the Flower Dragon and have Wild King as backup plan. Yeah, I do feel like if I was to ever have kids, I feel like the first few years would be like the hardest time for sure. Like pretty much all the time prior to them going to school would be like the hardest time. Oh yeah, I had a lot of teeth issues when I was a kid. I had to get so many baby teeth pulled because they just wouldn't come out naturally. Like a way above average amount. I just realized we created red, literally the only color that doesn't work. Not like we have much of a choice on it, but still. Oh yeah, that'd be annoying too if you had multiple kids, but their schools got out at different times. Because I know when I was a kid, the preschool, the kindergarten, and like the grade school all got out at different times. So if you had kids at that time, that would have been really annoying. Because if you had one in each grade, or you know, in both pre-K, kindergarten, and in first grade at the same time, you'd have to do 3 different rounds of picking people up. Because they were all at a different location. At least until you got to grade school. Alright, what do we need here? I guess we should always go for Mana Accumulator first. That or Siren. Siren is so inconsistent, though. I got it for the hope that it would do something on turn 1. It's never going to do anything turn 1, though. It's better than nothing, though, which is why I put it on the team. Just as far as mana accumulators go, it is so inconsistent. Oh, that's funny. You know what just killed him? I killed him off the 1 life drain that this has. There it is. Steal 1 life from purple. We just killed it with the 4 life drain of yellow and the 1 life drain of purple. I don't think I've ever seen that before. We literally killed first slot with only life drain from troops of a trait. With the final one being the 1 damage poke. Or we'll just have it where they get out around noon and then the other one's at 2:10. Oh gosh, yeah, that would be really annoying. At least they're separated a little bit though. What's the name of the group that's right below the hero on your team? The troop? This is the Narcithus. It is the yellow flower dragon. What you get in the yellow, or what you get in the flower dragon drop table from Soulforge. They're 600 Dragonite each. You can earn Dragonite either from getting a perfect in dungeon, which is purely luck based, or just from farming it during Vault Event weekends, which is not this weekend, but next week's weekend is the next Vault Event weekend. But if you don't currently have the Dragonite for, it's kind of hard to get. It's definitely the highest rarity thing on this team. Like this, you can actually target this week if you wanted to, like just throw event keys down for Wild King. Which is currently no really good way to target this yellow dragon, flower dragon, if you don't currently have it. It's by far the strongest thing you could run, but it's not targetable currently. Unless you have some Dragonite laying around. Nice, we landed on yellow. Exactly what we want to see. Ideally yellow or green every single time so that we can get his mana immediately. Yes, version 8.6 is live. All the changes to it are to campaign, so it basically doesn't affect until next week. But yes, version 8.6 is live. No patch notes until tomorrow though. Because originally it seemed like the patch was supposed to be tomorrow, but it came out today. And because of that, we don't have patch notes until tomorrow. But all the patch, pretty much, unless a few bug fixes, is all related to next campaign. As well as all future campaigns, assumably. So they're changing up however that system works in some way. We don't currently know how that's going to be, though. But yeah, I'll do a video for the patch notes reading probably tomorrow. Since I'm probably not streaming it tomorrow, but we'll do a patch notes reading once they're up. But everything in the patch notes doesn't affect until Monday next week. I never understood how to deeply get into Underspire. I am actually completing out this week because this week isn't too bad to go complete it out completely. But basically, if you want to do a full completion, you tend to run 150 gems per day to get the first 2 torch sets, the 50 and the 100. And then, basically for your initial path, going from door to door, like going from this door to the next door, or from starting room to the first door, is you go based on highest level. This is the case almost always, is whatever the highest level is will get you from door to door. They're always 7 rooms away from each other, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that's how you get from door to door. Finding the boss room is a little bit more annoying than that, and a lot more luck-based. But as far as initially finding your door, you generally just have to go down whatever the highest level is. So like right here, we'll see a split path, and whatever one is the higher level of the split path is the one we'd go down. Yeah, it's perfectly fine never completing it. You do always want to grab your lantern that you get on the really early on in that first shop, though, because it's free every single week. And you ideally want to save those lanterns either for the 4th boss room, or if you're just going to do the free battles every single week, just save it for the very first boss room. As the very first boss room gives you double bronze medal or glory medal. The 4th one gives you double silver. And most notably, the biggest reward is the 6th one, which gives double gold. And by double, I mean if you use a lantern on it, you'll get double of it on the battle. So I didn't for this battle because I generally go deeper to not need to do it. But on this battle right here, we could use a lantern instead to get double the loot. But the only ones that are really worth it are the 4th, 6th, and 7th ones. Which is why I normally just go up to 4th if I'm not doing a full completion. Because it's the first really good boss loot room that you can use your weekly lantern on. What am I doing that for? I already had win condition. It is one of the more time-consuming weeklies in the game, though. Like, if you're doing a full completion, you could easily spend like 2 to 3 hours, depending on your teams and what you have as options. It's a pretty time-consuming one. But if you just do the free battles, it takes like under an hour over a given week, and you still get some pretty decent loot. Particularly from this first boss room. Well, there we go. Oh, is that everything already? Wow, that was quick. That was pretty quick. Let's do one last sweep. Campaign, we got an update to it today with version 8.6, so we don't know what the patch notes are. All dailies completed, literally all of them. Journey, already did all the battles and pretty much all the weekly requirement almost. I just clicked on it again. Don't forget every single week, or every single day this week is the summer event, so make sure to go and do that as a daily, as you do lose any value that you don't do every single day. It's a pretty quick daily, though. It takes like a few minutes. Underspire, we literally just did. Dungeon, we did. Unfortunately, no perfect for the Dragonite. And PvP, yeah, we finished everything. We did our 6 battles for Wildfolk here, since we could just copy-paste whatever our Wildfolk team was for the event, and just replace that with a Beatrix for the troop. And we did all of our Val Ravens, right? Yep, all right, that's everything. Every daily completed. All right, let me just double check one last thing before we end. She mentioned that we're not going to get patch notes today, but she mentioned she's going to try updating the one other page. So let me go check that one other page she was talking about. This article right here. This page you're looking for does not exist. Wonderful. Okay, never mind. Good job, Jetto. Anyways, with that being said, I guess we're not doing that. She put a broken link there. Though it could be the page is down because she's updating it a ton. But, that's funny. It's a dead link. It could just be because she's updating it right now, though. But yeah, we don't have the patch notes. I'll probably just do a separate video tomorrow night going over the patch notes. They should be up by about like 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. So I'll just probably cover a video reading over the patch notes or something. As most of the patch notes doesn't affect until next Monday. It's probably a few bug fixes or something. But a good bulk of what happened in the most recent patch today shouldn't affect until Monday of next week, when we get the next campaign in 6 days, 5 hours, and 42 minutes. Is pretty much when the next patch truly hits, even though it technically hit today. What's the highest level in Dungeon? You're on 220. Oh, wait, 220? Oh, wait, do you mean Underworld? Wait, that's something different. The whole Underworld feature here? It goes all the way to 500 for every single one. And you earn a bunch of points for every single place, up to 2,500. But yeah, there's quite a few extra stats and small benefits that you end up getting from it. You don't generally want to push 500 until you have a really good method of dealing with them, though. One of the most accessible ways of dealing with them is if you accumulate a bunch of power orbs over time. For example, from events like this, or just crafting them in Soulforge. You can use 8 power orbs to craft some pretty strong things. And 2 of them are really good for Underworld. Those 2 being Zolgoth and Catharix, which you can get for 8 power orbs in Soulforge. Either one of these, or even both of them, if the restriction allows it, are really good for running through the entirety of Underworld. And if you had both of them, you'd be able to run one or the other, potentially even both, in every single Underworld in the entire game. And they can solo and just put a bunch of support around your team the entirety of Underworld all the way to 500. They both have an insta-kill mechanic. In the case of Zolgoth, it's insta-kill with Burn Freeze while creating some skulls, which can backfire a little bit. The other one can too, though, but it backfires with mana. And the other one does insta-kill and creates 6 yellow Curse Gems, yellow Giant Gems, and 6 Fairy Fire Gems. So this one has a lot of mana accumulation that it can get back. So if you were to do one or the other, honestly, I would probably say Catherics in the current state of the game. As the problem with Zolgoth, even though the freeze is nice and everything, the skulls can really backfire, especially earlier on in the game. So the skulls are almost more of a negative than a positive when doing high-level Underworld, especially with lower stats. Whereas giving the mana is a -2, but at least you get all the mana accumulation for yourself when it does land. But yeah, having either one of these or even both of them, basically you can solo the entirety of Underworld. The other trip that's really good for that if you have laying around is Tesla. Tesla and any restriction where you're allowed to use it can, on her own, solo the entirety of Underworld as well. She boost ratio is based on all ally and enemy armor. And because she doesn't offer enemy armor as well, she scales throughout the entire game. So the stronger your enemies are, the harder their armor will be. And the higher the armor they have, the more damage she will do. And she could 2 to 3 shot basically every single game mode in the entire game, assuming she's allowed to be used in it. And she's only a legend, she's not even a mythic. No way to really target her at the moment though, other than just hoping you get it in Glory Gem Guild or VIP chest. But yeah, she's really strong. Like that one single troop, if you're allowed to use in a restriction, just goes through everything. The other option, if you want like slightly consistent things, is Amithrax. Has Truffle, which is a green-blue that has infinite loop into itself. And Beatrix can also do it in a similar way from Deep Hive. She's also useful for some events this current week. So if you don't already have her, getting that would be really nice from these little portal thingies. There's a pretty high chance that you end up getting them from the thing. Actually, what is the actual drop rate? Actual drop rate is 2.52 that you would end up getting the troop in question. Let's see, how many does this take us? Alright, we did 2. We're technically 30 now. Come on, show it to us. 40. We're getting a little unlucky. 50. There we go. I was going to say, we should have about 2 by now. There it is. There's my 2. I was going to say, we're exactly on drop rate for 2.5. Well, there's our 2.5. And there we go. We got double Beatrix. So within 1,000, we got our double Beatrix we need for like every team this week. Not only is this really good for Underworld this week, or sorry, not only is this really good for Journey event this week, it is also good for Underspire. Oh no, sorry, you can't use it for Underspire, but you can use it for Journey event. You can use this for Journey event, and of course it's just really good in general for running through factions. It has a decent amount of extra turn chance, creates a bunch of gem, does a bunch of true damage, and has cleanse, so you don't ever have to worry about status effects. And with 2 of them, you basically just perpetually cleanse forever. It's really good in PvP and stuff too, particularly against elementals as a counter to it. Can you really take a mythic boss who scatters butterflies on the board? Seriously? That's pretty funny. They didn't make it because there's a new support page? Oh, that's why. Okay. I see. Anyways, any other questions, anyone, or anything else to go over? Otherwise, I think we will be calling it here. But yeah, we are finally in version 8.6. I'll cover a video tomorrow reading over the patch notes because the patch notes aren't currently out. They should be out by around the time we would normally stream tomorrow night. I probably won't be doing a Gems of War stream tomorrow night, but we will do a separate video just doing a reading of it. Just a concise reading of everything on it and everything like that. And then on the following Monday, we'll probably, you know, actually be able to experience it because the main changes that happen in 8.6 are related to campaign. And of course, next campaign is not until 6 days, 5 hours, and 37 minutes from now. So on that Monday video, we'll also go over it a little bit more in a more concise way, as that's when it's actually going to be applicable as to whatever the next campaign is. So yeah, it's mostly just a bug fix and changing up campaign update. Pretty small one. Definitely not a major patch yet, but yeah, we'll go over it once the patch notes are up. Unfortunately, they are not, despite the patch itself being up. Anyways, guys, I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful week. I will catch all of you guys later. Thank you so much for stopping by as always. Greatly appreciated. Feel free to leave a like on our stream. Helps a lot as well. And I will catch you guys later. Goodbye, everyone. And thanks for watching.